Oops, I did it again. Hello and welcome back to EVSwap. My name's Jimmy and I convert cars from gas to electric. Let's get into the latest episode of the electric Land Cruiser, and in this episode we're going to actually drive it for the very first time. So we're going to build our high voltage battery. Now I picked up another battery, this time from a 2017 Nissan LEAF, and so it's 30 kilowatt hours of capacity, which was at the time the newest and largest battery that I could purchase. So first we have to rip open the can. It's got glue all around the edge, so we have to break the glue, pull the lid off, and then we can access the modules. I got my 30 kilowatt hour battery and I've been tearing it apart. Well, not really. I've been methodically disassembling it because I need to take this battery from the shape that it is, basically this pancake with a bulge at one end, and I need to fit it into like a long skinny hot dog, well, two long skinny hot dogs on top of each other. So I'll show you a little bit about what I'm doing with the battery. So this is 24 modules. This is a stack of 12 modules, and this is a stack of 12 modules. I'm going to reorient these two packs of 12 into one stack of 24, just like that one. So then I'll have two stacks of 24 modules and they'll be the same, and I can stack them one on top of the other. The modules in this long stack are about 33 to 34 inches, 35 inches, depending if we use these brackets on the ends or not. 13 to 14 inches wide. They're about 9 inches tall. Touching the motor, we have about 36, 38 inches on the front end from where the old motor mounts are up 18 inches, and we're still well below the hood line. Lastly, the distance between original motor mounts, about 16 to 17 inches. This is the connection across the whole module, and this is about 7.5 to 8 volts. This is each cell. So you have cell 1 and cell 2, and these are like 3.5 to 4 volts. Each one of these little wires, there's 24 of them, and I gotta make sure that they all go in the correct order on each cell, so that the BMS can calculate the voltage for each cell. Otherwise, problems. All right, check this thing out. Look at this guy. So that's my 24 modules, 48 cells, aligned in all one pack. I had end plates off of my previous LEAF that I dissected. The long screws, I had all those left over. So I've got my, boom, half the pack here, boom, half the pack is still here. You can see this one on the left is positive, on the right is negative. This is the bus bar from that other LEAF. If I do it like this originally, now I'm gonna have my positive on the left, negative on the right, just like the pack over there. But I'm thinking if I flip this 180, now last one over here is gonna be on the negative tab, and the first one over here will be on the positive. And I believe that'll just snap right on there. I'll have a really short cable from each side of the pack, and that'll minimize any losses. I was very careful to mark every single tap, balance tap on here. So like that's number 11, I marked it twice just because I had bad handwriting. You see that's a theme. This is lucky number 7, right? So I mark them with a little tape, and it's number 7 on there. And then we have like 9 and 11 and 10 and 8. So let's say the battery's on top here, and then this battery, and then these are the balance wires that go to the BMS. So I'll have these come out the front, I'll have this come to the same side so that they can plug in real easily. And basically what I'm trying to say in so many words is that these small ones I can extend or shorten to clean them up. There's no penalty, there's no problem in either extending these wires or clipping them and shortening them. As long as every single one of these taps fits the correct pin and the correct order of each cell in the pack, then everything is going to be great. So that is going to be my number 1 focus, to get this 100% correct, no errors, because you can't even have an error and then start it up and fix the error later. Because if you have an error in this and you plug it into the BMS, you let the magic smoke out of the BMS. All right, so let's see if we can put this on upside down. It should just snap on here. I think this is gonna work. This is gonna be our most positive terminal, and this is gonna be our most negative terminal. Connection here, and then it goes across the cell. It goes across the bus bar, back through the cell, across the bus bar, back through the cell, across the bus bar, down through the cell, across the bus bar, through the cell, and yada yada all the way. So it snakes all the way down, and then here we come in, we go up and then down and then through the cell, and then this is our most negative terminal. So that's how these bus bars and how it works, that every single cell is in series. So every single one of these needs a bolt, every single one in the middle needs a screw, but most importantly, the BMS needs to be tied in to every single cell in the correct order with no mistakes on the first try. Wires now, and I've got the first string done. So half of the modules are 24 cells. Second half I'm going to use my other harness. This is the BMS. It's a little computer thingy, and you plug it in 2 and 3, and these other ones are 1, and then these are the temperature sensor inputs. This one I've decided is going to be the lower pack, and the other one's going to be the upper pack. The reason is because this one has less bracing. A top for it, I'm going to make a bottom for it, and basically to hold these cells on all 3 directions. It'll be held flat against the bottom of the battery box, and I'll bolt it down tightly, and then it'll be compressed down from the top by the other battery, and that way it's going to be really nice and solid and not move. I'll have the BMS mounted to up here, mounted to the other stack in its factory position. We'll go ahead and we'll wire the rest of the BMS up, and we'll measure the voltage, and we'll make sure that our positives and our negatives aren't screwed up, and we'll just keep going, you know, one wire at a time, one by one. Got it done. Spent today getting the BMS wiring completed here. Just took my time. Oh, looks like I missed a bolt there, and I got it all done. I'm building the battery box now, starting on it. I got my pieces cut. So I basically measured the distance, and this is really close to what I think the final dimensions are going to be. This is almost as big as it could possibly be. I'm gonna tack this up together, and then I'm gonna go do some test fitting in the engine bay. I got some pretty thick steel. I don't know if this is 1/8 or 16th, but it's pretty thick. Maybe it's even overkill, but I'm gonna tack it all together, and then what I'm gonna do is I'll weld all the seams, and then I'm gonna use some more angle to come up on the corners and up in the middle and do some cross bracing, and I'll have a roof, like a top frame, and it'll just be a big box, and then I'll put aluminum panels on the side and seal it and to keep it waterproof, because remember, we got to ford rivers and stuff. This is what it's gonna start like. I want to make sure I can lift the battery in and out with that engine hoist. But it fits. So it's resting on the motor there. I'm going to mount it to the motor mounts. It clears plenty at the front. We may have to square this guy up again, put this corner back by modifying the inner fender over there, but it should work. Sweet, it fits. Okay, so we can work on the sides and top of the battery box now, and we can weld this all up for real. I sliced the top of the box here on all the 4 legs, and then put these welded on these brackets that I can bolt and unbolt. So basically I can take the top off, because there's no way to get it on with the top steel there, and I don't want to weld with the batteries in there, and I also want to paint it and finish it and everything. So this way I'll be able to open the top of the box and put all the batteries in, and then close it up and bolt it up for good. We're clear of all the wires. That's our tightest clearance on this corner. All right, so I got the mounts now pretty much done for the battery box, and it's really in here. It's not going anywhere. You can see I've got 2 new mounts here on the front, just using stock Land Cruiser engine mounts, and then I've got the 2 in the back at an angle. It's like super tough, super stuck in here, and the bolts aren't even tight on the back 2 ones, so really pleased with how this is coming. All right, I got the modules stacked in the box here with the help of my friend Dom. Got it all bolted back together, and it all fits. What an amazing feeling. I got more space here than I expected. Plug system that the plugs bolt through. So this bolts onto that face, and it's all waterproof and very well done. So basically what I'm gonna do is clean this up a little bit with the grinder, get this like plate front off of there, clean it all up, and I'm gonna weld this to the box. Something like that, so that the plugs face forward, and all the plugs can come around and plug in. These are the high voltage contactors. So these guys have to live in the box somewhere. They're gonna live alongside here, kind of on the outside of the exoskeleton. So this black thing on the end, this guy is just a current sensor there. It goes in between the 2 packs. This guy here is the service disconnect, and then there's a big fuse here too. I got a few more things to finish up on this battery box, and then I'm gonna get it over to the sandblaster. It'll be all nice and clean. I got some seam sealer. I got to seal all the welds. Of course, we got to put the aluminum panels on all 4 sides. I'm doing some fine sheet metal work here, trying to build a box that's going to house this guy, which is the high voltage relays or the contactors, and the plug for the high voltage, and also the BMS. So here's the contactors. This is where they're going to fit. These are some of the high voltage wires, other sensors and stuff. Those two bolt together, just like that. Then these get bolted down nice and tight, and then I'm going to drill through and bolt everything down tight to the box. So that's a contactor box. I got the battery box in here for my final test fit before I'm going to send it out for sandblasting. So I wanted to make sure it was all going to fit the way that I envisioned. I got the service disconnect here, and it's going to clear the hood line. So that's great. Shackle we'll be able to bolt through there, and then we can lift. And then when we're done putting the battery out, we can just remove this out. Turned out okay. It feels like it's set up pretty good now. The contactor box smeared. Totally smeared up. This is the first one I did, and I got these rivets, and basically the rivets fit nicely down in there. And once I get the box built out with all the hardware, I will be able to rivet it on there with some sealant in between, and it'll be nice and tight. And then if I need to, I can drill those out in the future. So I got to do it for the bigger panels. So you can see I've done this method where I use a big fat Sharpie to color in all the edges, and then I score on here with a razor blade, and that way you can get an incredibly fine, really sharp edge. Got the bolts bolted in. So the BMS is going to live here, and I'm going to need to build some brackets to come off these two studs here and the two studs on the other side. The harness here is for the BMS for the bottom plug, or the bottom pack, so those will plug in there. And then the temperature sensors I've already plugged in. Those are the 3 temperature sensors. These big heavy bolts in the middle, you can see, go through to the aluminum panel, and that's what actually holds this box on, and it's sealed inside there. And then you can see I've got riveted all my rivets. I got my spacers, and I gooped it all up with tons of sealant. So I'm gonna let this one sit overnight, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go in and do the rest of the panels. But one thing I wanna do tonight is I wanna test this bad boy and see if we've got 360 plus volts here. Lots and lots of voltage now, so that's why I got my heavy duty lineman gloves on and my eye protection. So we'll go ahead and we'll measure. So we have 0 volts. Now we'll put in the safety disconnect. So we'll go ahead and we'll. Okay, I don't hear any fizzling or popping or bad noises. So positive to positive, negative to negative. 366 volts. Hell yeah, we did it right. Oh man, that is awesome. We got 366 volts, baby. Oh man, let's pull this out while we're talking here, because that's live, baby. That is live voltage right there when this is in. Oh man, yes, okay, excellent. All right, we are putting the battery in to the truck for the first time, and then we're gonna power it up, and then it's gonna be an electric vehicle. So we got all the dudes here, Dom, Josh, Hunter behind the camera. Everything's ready to go. This is 600 pounds. I weighed it with the scale, and this is a 600-pound box of batteries. We got the battery in now. The suspension took quite a bit of load. We're like 2 inches lower now. But look at how big this battery is here. Holy frick. Oh man, not that cool thing, Jack. So now we just gotta do a couple button things up, and then I think we should take it for a joyride. What do you guys think? Are you ready, boys? All ready for this? 53%, dude.
We're in and now
We're in drive. We're in drive. Okay. All right, stand back, Hunter. It's silent, man. So this is our 3 modes of regen. So we'll just start out in the lowest. It seems like it just pulls away with, there's not a lot of drag. Dude! Oh, should I turn my headlights on? Dude, we have electric 80 series. We got a little vibe. Look at out the front, look at the battery. Oh, the brakes all the way to the floor. Dude, that's not slow.
There's some stank on
That's not slow. Shit, I pushed all the way on the brakes. But then we still got brakes, they're just not boosted. Oh man. Here, let's go to more regen so I don't have to brake so hard. Alright, full regen.
Hello guy, don't worry about that little guy.
I wonder what that noise.
Oh, the mechanical clanking that we're dealing with?
Yeah, that's a lot more regen. It's like engine braking.
Oh wow. Cool. It's crawling. Yeah, that's your crawl.
Dude, it's like fast.
It's got some stank to it, man. We haven't even thrown in fucking like low.
No, we're just in low high, which is like the,
Really? Yeah, we're in low high.
So this is close to the Nissan LEAF gearing.
Jesus Christ. This is disgusting. Dude, I love it.
We're going.
Oh man.
Where are we going? Like 35, 40?
Yeah,
there's a vibration,
Yeah.
but it's not as bad
It's
as I
not bad.
expected.
It actually mellows
Look
out.
at that regen, dude. That's full
That's
regen. I'm
awesome,
not even
dude.
breaking.
You're gonna love this.
Damn.
Throw in,
This-
a
Bro.
transfer case.
Dude, I could
was
drive this
disgusting.
home,
Yeah,
man.
totally.
Yeah.
You guys want to go Chick-fil-A?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Holy shit, guys. Let's get underneath and make sure like nothing's looks
Yeah, totally.
Falling the fuck apart.
Let's make sure
This
nothing's
is
like
like
cherry red.
This
either,
is so
you know?
sick, dude. This is so sick. Holy, how cool is this, guys?
Bye.
Yeah, you should like can some sounds. At least this one. Well, didn't they have to do that with the Tesla? Like they had to make it.
We're in drive and we have 50% charge. Look at it, we're driving.
Holy shit, we're driving! We're driving an electric Land Cruiser!
We're driving an electric Land Cruiser.
Ah, that's awesome!
Oh man,
Good job, babe!
thanks, love.
That's so awesome! Now you just drive it onto the front yard.
It's got a vibration we have to fix, but it's not slow.
Oh, look at that!
It's not slow.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
This is so cool.
This is awesome!
I'm so jazzed. I can't even believe it.
We're just driving around.
Yep.
50%.
Yeah, we got charge. We could drive it home if we wanted.
Holy shit,
I
Jimmy!
need to fix the vibration. It's got that.
Yeah, it's a little vibration.
How cool is this?
That's awesome!
How freaking cool is that?
Yay!
All right, thanks again for watching another episode of the Electric Land Cruiser. That was so cool that we got to see it drive for the very first time. So from now on, you're caught up to the end of the build, and the next episodes will focus on refining the cruiser, making it drive better, and the adventures that we take it on. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and if you have any question at all, write it down in the comments below and I'll answer you. Please tell your friends, it's the best way to grow the channel. Thanks for watching.